on Saturday, October 12th at Pearl City Park for the annual Oktoberfest and Gumbo Festival. That's right, Saturday, October 12th, 2024. There's going to be beer because you can't have an Oktoberfest without Clay and Sean. I mean beer. There's going to be live music, food, vendors. It's going to be a big old car show and a kids zone. Hey, you think you got what it takes to make some award-winning gumbo? Think you can win some money? Check this out. It's also their annual gumbo cook-off, again, Saturday, October 12th at the City Park in Pearl. Main Street Pearl presents. Check out these cash prizes. First place is going to get $1,500. Second place, $1,000. Third place, $750. Think you can decorate your booth better than anybody else? How about a $250 prize for the most spirited, decorated booth? Hey, Main Street Pearl is going to pick their favorite gumbo. If it's yours, there's $500 in your pocket. Again, join me and my co-host, Sean Yurtkaran, as we broadcast live from Oktoberfest in Pearl. Saturday, October 12th, the party starts at 10. Sean and I will be there sometime after lunch. We hope to see you there. What's the old saying? Don't meet me there, beat me there. 2024, Oktoberfest and Gumbo Festival, Pearl City Park, Saturday, October 12th. Stay blessed. Boom, shaka, laka, boom. You're tuned in to the Free Range Human Show of Choice, your daily dose of reality radio. This, my friends, is the Clay Edwards Show. I am, of course, Clay Edwards, this fine, strapping young lad across from me here. You may not recognize him. It's the first time he's been on camera on this show, but not his first time on this show. This is our early morning show host here, Matt Bishop of The Full Story. He's live from 6 a.m. to 7 a.m. here on WYAB. He's filled in for me several times as I've been out over the summer on vacation or sick or whatever else it may be. Matt, appreciate you jumping in and doing a couple segments with me here in the first hour.
Well, yeah, but now that I'm on, now that you have video, you can't say strapping because now they can actually see me. So you can't. It's like misinformation. Disinformation. Yeah, whatever the difference is, I don't know yet.
We'll ask Karine Jump.
Yeah.
She'll let us know. Did you see that ridiculous suit that she had on yesterday?
Oh, my gosh. I mean, it's the ridiculousness of their suits. It just gets impressive. I think she actually looks at it and say, what's the most ridiculous thing I could go today, right? It reminds me of my cousin Vinny, when he shows up with that
yes.
blue, powder blue suit. And it's like, you're making fun of, they send him to jail, if it's so bad. It's like, man, if there was fashion jail, she would definitely be going.
Her suit yesterday, I saw so many memes floating around about it. She looked like the old WWE manager Slick from back in the day. Then somebody had it. You remember the scene from Beetlejuice, the guy in the waiting room with the shrunk head wearing the suit? I thought somebody did that one too.
That was pretty good.
First thing that came to my mind was like a mid to late 90s Master P No Limit rap video with those ridiculous pimp suits they would wear.
Oh yeah. Oh man.
She was
going
else.
for it. Yeah. Just as ridiculous as the things that she was saying. I say if you're going to say ridiculous things, I think you have to have ridiculous clothes to match it.
Yeah. Thank you. Hey, look, we are streaming live on YouTube, Facebook, and of course X and Rumble. Somebody just said, Clay, it's a Tuesday, not Thursday. Thank you for that. I use these preset streams, and I hit the wrong one, and it says Thursday. Thank you for the update. There it is. In fact, Tuesday. I was in a rush. I normally you can set these streams up the night before.
Yeah.
Well, I was making videos last night,
right,
and forgot to preset. So I ran in and I hit the easiest one.
It starts with T. It
starts with T.
It's close enough.
Close enough.
Ends with day.
We're live. That's
right.
the only part that matters. I will edit that in the breakdown here. Carrie, thank you so much for that. Well, yeah, hey, by the way, so we are streaming live on video. We're going into our third week of that, our second week with these brand new cameras in here, courtesy of the Yurtkaran law firm. Sean made a nice investment into the show to help it grow. If you guys catch yourself in a bind and you need a criminal defense attorney, holler at my boy Sean, the Yurtkaran law firm. I know you probably don't know how to spell that, but it's one of those names that literally spells just like it sounds.
Yeah.
If you had to spell Yurtkaran, you would probably spell it right the first time, believe it or not. Yeah. If you can't figure that out, holler at your boy, and I will get you in touch with Sean. So shout out to Sean for the cameras. Real quick, don't forget, tomorrow night I'll be out at Burgers Blues Barbecue downtown Brandon. It is the final round of our Cordless Corner open mic competition. We had a huge crowd last week as we were raising money, raising taking donations for our North Carolina supply drive for Asheville and Burnsville and that area, and we got some breaking news from yesterday afternoon on that as well. Not our donations, well, possibly our donations, but don't let me jump down a rabbit hole doing this because I will. But so I'll be out there tomorrow night. We'll have the whole crew out there, and the folks from the American Cancer Society Strides Against Breast Cancer, the Real Men Wear Pink campaign, are going to be there with us.
Wow.
Several of the ambassadors who are raising money, the Real Men Wear Pink that you see around, Daniel Freeman, Brandon Walker. Daniel Freeman's with Noel Daniels Motor Company. Brandon Walker's with WLBT. Brandon's one of the co-judges there. They're both going to be there. They're raising money. So what I've done is I've created a special edition pink FAFO shirt. Well, the shirt's black, but my FAFO logo that everybody is so familiar with, we've created one, and we replaced the A with a pink ribbon. And I'm going to put it up on the screen here in case you're watching online now. And I don't know if it's going to pop up on there or not. Yeah. But I've created a special shirt just for the not just for this event, but to sell this month and raise money. $10 from every purchase is going to go to the Real Men Wear Pink campaign. And if you want that donation to go to Daniel in Daniel's name or in Brandon's name, you can, if you go to buyfafo.com and use the promo code Brandon, and Brandon spells his name E-N at the end, or Daniel. Just type that into the promo code. You're going to save $1. It made me create a discount to do these names. So you get to save $1, and it'll donate $10 in their name to their American Cancer Society. Or you can come out in person tomorrow night and buy the shirt. I'll have them with me on hand. Really excited about that. I'm not really trying to make any money on this. I got to make enough to justify doing it. But the overwhelming majority of the profit is going to the American Cancer Society. So a really cool shirt there. Just wanted to plug that, get that out of the way, because we're very incendiary on this platform, but when we got to step up and try to help out, man, I try to be
especially with that stuff.
I will knock people down to do it.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I wanted to get that out.
What a great charity, too.
I mean, look, I'm not a big national charity guy.
Yeah.
Because a lot of that's a scam.
Yeah. I was just thinking that, but not the American Cancer Society.
No, I mean, they're doing good stuff.
Yeah, absolutely.
They really are. I mean, we all know somebody that's been affected by breast cancer in some form, fashion, or another. My aunt had a double, is it vasectomy?
Mastectomy. Mastectomy?
Mastectomy? Yeah, mastectomy is where they clip us. Okay, so, and so, I mean, we've all been affected by it, and, we can try to do something to raise money and try to end that one way or another. I'm all for it. So,
absolutely.
Otherwise, I try to stick with local charities and helping out like what we did with the donation drive. Speaking of that, let's jump in here. I know I told you I want to talk about one thing, but I did think about this.
Yeah.
Did you see this video that started circulating yesterday of this Black Hawk helicopter destroying supplies in Burnsville?
I have. It's,
it's inexplicable.
It's just, it's crazy. Like you said, the more we learn about the way FEMA and all these people are handling things, and it's almost desensitizing, because it's like it gets worse every single video that I see, from the videos coming from their meetings a year ago to this. It's like, and then they tell us they don't have enough money. It's just absolutely ridiculous. I can't believe that we've gotten to this point, honestly.
So I've got it pulled up here on my Twitter. I'm not going to play it because there's no point to play it. I did play it. I did a whole live stream on it yesterday afternoon. You can go to wherever, if you're watching the video live now, you can go watch it. Go watch the video I did yesterday. Now I am looking at this though. So there has been some readers added context to this video, community notes put on it.
Yeah.
Here, and it says the helicopter was, well, let me read the caption first so people know what we're talking about. This is from Colin Rugg, very legitimate source on Twitter, and several other people were sharing it too. It says a new helicopter destroys Hurricane Helene recovery supplies in Burnsville, North Carolina at a distribution site. This is exactly where our stuff was dropped off, by the way. Locals say two black SUVs did a slow roll 45 minutes before helicopter showed up. Quote, this evening at approximately 7:18, this would have been Monday night, Sunday night, by the way.
Yeah.
7:18 in Burnsville, North Carolina, an unmarked helicopter flew in and attempted to destroy the distribution area that was set up by locals for locals while I was conducting a K-9 security round. A veteran volunteer said on TikTok. And this is a person that's clearly law enforcement or some sort. Mm-hmm. He's got a canine dog, maybe with some kind of team that does that search and rescue type stuff.
Right.
This is not just some average Joe.
Just patrolling the area. No, this is this guy with some kind of authority.
Exactly. And he says, this was not one of our helicopters. This was about 45 minutes after two unmarked SUVs and a side-by-side did a slow roll at the entrance of our parking lot and left. The helicopter was unmarked, and it is illegal to fly unmarked helicopters, but we know Special Forces can and does, and we know some private contractors do. Not sure of the legalities of that, though. So where were they? It says, So who were they?
Yeah.
Why were they here? Why were they masked up? Because apparently the pilots were wearing masks. He says, I've done plenty of helicopter ops with Coast Guard helicopters, and I know a practiced rotor wash when I see it, and our pilots never masked up this way. So come to find out, and as I was live, I was doing research on this in live time, kind of under the comments. It was not an unmarked helicopter. It looks black, but apparently it's a super, super dark green.
Yeah.
And it's got the black letters on it, which from the ground you just can't see.
It. Yeah.
It belongs to XP Services, which best I can gather is a private charter.
Okay.
Private charter company.
Why does a private charter company have Blackhawks? That's a very interesting aircraft to have for a private charter company.
It is, and there was even some people saying that somehow Dr. Phil may have been on this thing. I know that sounds crazy, but all of this is crazy.
Yeah.
So
it's almost like you think the conspiracy theories and stuff that we talked about years ago were crazy, but as things start to come true these days, it's like I don't put anything out there, right? I'm not going to say anything's too crazy to believe these days.
So what it did in a rotor wash, guys, it had been hovering over there, and the captions in the video say they had made this a no-fly zone. Mm-hmm. Now, not legally a no-fly zone, but all the participants have decided this area's a no-fly zone because you got all this stuff out there, the tents. It would destroy it if you came through in the helicopter wind. Right. And that's what this guy did. They flew over it for a while. They were saying, do not land, do not land, do not land. And this guy still came down and did like the blow. I mean, where he just comes through and just destroyed a ton of stuff for no dang good reason.
Yeah.
Look, if nothing else, the optics are terrible given everything going on around it right now with all the conspiracy theories, the FEMA stuff, all the other stuff out there, and you got some jackass and a
military type helicopter.
You know, and look, you know like I do. I mean, you know way better than I do. I mean, you were in the military.
Yeah.
If you're flying a Black Hawk, you know how to fly a copter. You understand that what's going to happen if you do this.
Right.
This is intentional.
Well, especially stuff like rotor wash. Like you're highly, aware of that you talk about it all the time in the military about rotor wash and how to watch out for it and where to land and things like that. In fact, you're not even supposed to land in grass and things like that because the grass can be pulled up into the engines and blow them. In fact, I've seen that happen. So, the fact that they're that close to those kind of things is a no-no to begin with.
So here is the community note, the fact check, so to say. Mm-hmm. It's just really fact checking the fact that it was in fact not unmarked. It said the helicopter was not unmarked. It's a Sikorsky UH-60M Black Hawk operated by the Connecticut National Guard.
Oh, okay. So that makes more sense. Yeah, that's not
So it's not the private company that people that initially suggested. Note the timestamp, et cetera, et cetera. So that's even more interesting. So it was in fact military.
Well, I don't know about the Connecticut National Guard, but I don't know how much airtime they're getting. I always give people, especially that the benefit of the doubt. Especially they're not doing these missions a whole lot. So maybe it was someone who just a little untrained in the circumstance. Because I don't want to talk bad about our National Guard people, and they do a lot of stuff, and they get out there, and you get activated for these national emergencies, and you get excited. I've seen these guys get excited because they don't get to do it very often, and that may have been what happened. Because if you've been in the military as well, then people do stupid crap in the military, right? It happens. We've all seen it. I don't care where you are, downrange doesn't matter. I've seen guys accidentally put off missiles on Cobras before and stuff and Apaches. But it happens, and it makes more sense that it was maybe someone in National Guard who doesn't have as much experience. Maybe got excited.
Yeah, I don't know. I'll just say this. We flew over for a few minutes and then decided to fly off like somebody doing a burnout, leaving a car show.
Yeah.
The optics are terrible.
Oh, the optics are 100%, and people
there needs to be some accountability.
There's definitely going to be at least I hope there's going to be an investigation into it. In the military, we call those 15-6 investigations to look into what was going on with that, and I'm sure someone is going to get a reprimand at the end of the day. I would imagine.
I would think so. All right, we got to take a break. When we come back, I want to jump into this Kamala Harris debacle of a 60 Minutes interview, and you also touched on the I heard you on your show this morning.
Yeah.
You touched on the stuff going on with Ron DeSantis in Florida. I've got. Did you play his response?
I did. I just read it. I didn't play it, but
I got the video of his response
perfect.
too last night to her saying that he's ignoring
Yeah.
her calls. And I had not even seen his response yet. And I said, I'm going to tell y'all why he's ignoring her call. And I ended up being completely right. Because it don't take a rocket scientist to figure it out. If Clay Edwards knows, everybody should know. All right, we're going to take a break. We'll continue the conversation live during the break on the Save JXN Facebook, YouTube, and X channel. And we're also on the Clay Edwards Show Rumble. We'll be right back with Matt Bishop here on WYAB.
So does the live feed still go while we're on break?
All right, mics are live.
Mics are live?
Mics are live.
Okay.
So, let's circle back to the helicopter here.
Yeah.
Because I'm trying to chat during these breaks so we don't just have dead air on the live stream.
Right.
It's like the only awkward thing that I haven't quite been able to figure out yet.
Oh, for the live, yeah.
It's like, what do you do? I mean, I can put up like a flyer, but
maybe we should just dance, put dancing people in there.
Just dance, dance, monkey dance. So that video is wild. I guess I could play it now for the people. I could pull it up on the screen and play it for the people who have not seen it yet here, because it's perplexing at best.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I'll just tell you again from my time in the military, it's just people in the military do stupid stuff. At the end of the day, it's a big part of my job. I was a JAG officer there, so obviously I did prosecution and things like that. And a big part of my job was sometimes prosecuting people for stupid stuff. In Iraq, we literally had a guy sitting in a Apache, and you got the joystick there with the missiles, and he just decided to press the button while it's sitting there on the thing, just completely destroyed a tower. Because
I get it, man.
And plus too, like, we have some access to some pretty cool, fun stuff in the military, like some really fun stuff.
Yeah.
And sometimes, you get excited, and anybody's going to have some fun in a helicopter or a Humvee or any of the cool things that we have access to. And most of the guys are young too, so you take some liberty with things, and that's probably what it was. You mentioned a guy doing a burnout. I mean, people do that kind of crap all the time in the military with military equipment, and sometimes it gets caught on video. Unfortunate for this guy.
Well, I think like everything gets caught on video now.
Yeah, that's true.
I think the part that kind of makes you go scratch your head a little bit is just the lack of situational awareness, if nothing else.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's definitely a bad look.
I feel like a Karen complaining about it a little bit, but
right.
I mean, you just watch the video and you see the tents flying, the supplies flying. I mean, I'm sound like such a Karen with this, but just like that tent, one of those tent poles smash somebody in the face, gouge an eye out. I mean, I just think of all the things that can go wrong nowadays.
Oh yeah, I mean it's part of the, it's a good thing everything's on video. Sometimes it's a bad thing that everything's on video. Yeah. And like I said, maybe I'm a little desensitized to it because I've seen a whole lot crazier stuff people do in the military during my time there, especially stuff that would happen downrange, like in Iraq, and people would just you have all this stuff and there's very little oversight. Not a great look though, right? Especially when it gets caught and you'll sit down as soldiers like, what were you thinking? Like, what was going through your mind doing this? Like, come on, man. It's like everybody has cell phones now.
100%.
What were you thinking? And I don't know. Like I said, it's probably some warrant officer that flies it, and he gets to fly it, once a month, and he got called up on orders. He's like, this is gonna be a good time. And unfortunately, it may have got a little out of hand for him.
Well, we'll see. I will probably never find out what happens. Actually, that's the part that's frustrating.
I'm sure the military will, right? Well, it'll
No,
die
they
down.
will. They will. We will never
Yeah.
find out.
I mean, technically, like I said, they're called 15-6 investigations. Those become public record after a while.
Yeah.
But by the time it becomes public record, no one's going to care. So it'll be way past.
All right, we're getting ready to come back. Welcome back in to the Clay Edwards Show here live on WYAB. We're joined here in the studio this morning by Matt Bishop, our 6 a.m. to 7 a.m. host here on WYAB. Check out the full story every Monday through Friday. Matt, tell folks how they can find you online if they want to go back and listen to your podcast or watch your videos or any of that stuff.
Yeah, so all of our shows I put on podcasts from the morning show. I get 6 to 7 a.m. is very early for a lot of people. I don't blame them for waking up, not wanting to wake up that early. So pretty much any of your podcasts, your favorite podcast ones, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, any of those, right? Just look for the full story. Also our website. Regulatorsproductions.com. You can select the full story. We also have a radio drama coming out as well. So if you look at that, you can see our upcoming radio drama, fully scripted radio drama that we're going to be producing with local actors here in Mississippi. So it's going to be a good time with that as well.
Radio drama, so like a War of the Worlds type thing?
Yeah, exactly. So full cast. You imagine it's going to be 10 episodes of an original story. And it's going to be a full cast with sound effects, Foley artists, those kind of things. It's kind of been a resurgence in that. That's going to be distributed on Amazon Audible. So it's been kind of a resurgence in that field that we haven't seen for 70 years now that podcasting and things like Audible have taken off. So we've been lucky enough to get that picked up, and we're going to be producing that. So
well, that's awesome. I didn't know there had been a resurgence in that. I mean, I'm a big fan of Audible.
Yeah,
I mean, I don't really read books, but I listen to them.
Yeah, exactly.
All the time. So that's pretty cool. So it's kind of like a podcast of sorts.
Sort of, yeah. It's just like I said, it's
scripted and
scripted, right? It's episodic format. And there's actually a lot of good ones out there. In fact, Audible did one on Sherlock Holmes. It's like a whole redone. They got like big name actors on it. It's pretty impressive what they're doing. That kind of format being coming back.
I dig it, brother.
Yeah,
I dig it. Hey guys, look, this segment's gonna be brought to you by Men's Health of Mississippi. Get over there today, man. I posted a picture of myself online, a before and current of my weight loss journey and my physical fitness journey yesterday on my Facebook, from 300 pounds to 244 pounds. And I mean, muscles moved around and so this, that, and the other. I mean, it's a completely different human being. I look like the former UFC fighter, Roy Big Country Nelson, in one photo, as if he could have kicked my butt then, just like he could kick it now, regardless of what kind of condition I'm in. And now, I literally look like a different person. And my only regrets is that I didn't start using TRT, testosterone replacement therapy, and semaglutide sooner. It's definitely helped retrain me how to eat and how not to overeat. The semaglutide and the testosterone just speaks for itself. It makes absolutely everything about life better. Yeah. If you have low testosterone, I can't recommend it enough. I would put every member of my family on it if I had the ability to do so, that needed it. But if your body is quit generating testosterone the way it needs to, there's zero excuse to not get on testosterone replacement therapy. You can do it out at Men's Health of Mississippi. If you're overweight and you can't afford Ozempic, semaglutide is a compounded Ozempic. It works just as good for a fraction of the price. I've been on it now for 2 months. Yeah, this Friday will be 2 months, and the weight just keeps falling off. I've lost 4 pounds in the last week.
Wow.
And
it's impressive.
I've enjoyed some cold beers. I ate a hamburger with a bun, and I don't eat a lot of bread at all. And it works because I'm not eating a lot of food. I'm kind of working at a calorie deficit, so to say. So look, do this. Text if you want testosterone. Text Clay to 601-327-8550. 601-327-8550. If you want weight loss, if you want the compounded Ozempic, the semaglutide, text weight loss. 1 word, 2 words, it don't matter. Just get weight loss in there. And they got it set up where about 8 different ways you can spell weight loss and it get right.
That's for people like me, trust me.
Touche. Text it to the same number, 601-327-8550. I do not mind sharing that. If anybody wants to see that photo that's not on social media, text the Guns and Gear text line. I will send it to you. 769-241-1944. All right, let's jump in to this here. We got Kamala Harris. And here's what's crazy about this. And I didn't know this until I was listening to your show. Mm-hmm. She knew damn well she hadn't tried calling him.
Oh, yeah. That's the craziest thing. It just was after the ABC report. NBC.
This is after a false ABC report. A false ABC report that Ron DeSantis was ignoring her calls. She responds to it as if it's true, knowing she hadn't done it.
It's crazy.
Insanity, peak insanity. All right, this is Kamala Harris responding to allegations that Ron DeSantis was ignoring her phone calls about Hurricane Milton.
Governor DeSantis, NBC is reporting Governor DeSantis is ignoring your calls on hurricanes, resources, and help. How does that hurt the situation here?
You know, moments of crisis, if nothing else, should really be the moment that anyone who calls themselves a leader says they're going to put politics aside and put the people first. People are in desperate need of support right now, and playing political games with this moment in these crisis situations, these are the height of emergency situations, is just utterly irresponsible, and it is selfish, and it is about political gamesmanship instead of doing the job that you took an oath to do, which is to put the people first.
Political gamesmanship. The irony is so rich that it is not lost upon me, I can assure you.
Oh, yeah. And like I said, DeSantis' response, like, I didn't get a call from her. Like, what she's talking about. And like I said, it's just after that NBC report, which, we all know is the most trustworthy news agencies, NBC and ABC, with their own fact checking back to the debate, with ABC's fact checking of the debate. We all know they are the best of the facts, the fact checkers. I'm being sarcastic, of course. And so she just picked it up wholeheartedly and just went with it. And it's like, no, you didn't call me. And plus, I already talked to the president. And that's the other thing. It's like, are you not talking to President Biden? Obviously, she's not, because he had talked to DeSantis.
Well, we've got Ron DeSantis. This is the Ron DeSantis I fell in love with during COVID right here, by the way. Not the Ron DeSantis we got during his attempted presidential run. This is the OG Ron DeSantis right here at his best. This is on Fox News last night.
And we've been laser focused on leveraging all resources available, including from the federal government. And I've been in touch with both FEMA and the president, as well as marshaling all our state agencies and working to support our local communities. And so for Kamala Harris to try to say that my sole focus on the people of Florida is somehow selfish is delusional. She has no role in this. In fact, she's been vice president for 3.5 years. I've dealt with a number of storms under this administration. She has never contributed anything to any of these efforts. And so what I think is selfish is her trying to blunder into this. No. And here's the thing. She has no role. No, she has no role in this process. I'm in contact with the President of the United States. I'm in contact with FEMA director. I'm obviously managing all our state agencies. We're supporting all our local government. And I will say this. I've had storms under both President Trump and President Biden, and I've worked well with both of them. She's the first one who's trying to politicize the storm, and she's doing that just because of her campaign. She's trying to get some type of an edge. She knows she's doing poorly, and so she's playing these political games. I don't have time for political games. I've got people whose lives are on the line. I've got people whose homes and their possessions are on the line, and we are focused 100% on that mission. I'm not worried about playing her political games. And so she is being selfish by trying to blunder into this when we're working just fine.
What an amazing response.
Yeah. I mean, like you said, that's the COVID Ron DeSantis right there.
100%.
And that, it goes to show, again, that's the kind of person we thought was going to run for president too. I don't know where that went, but, he's obviously, he knows how to control the state, and he knows how to handle, people like Kamala Harris. But he, what I like about it is he's absolutely right, is that, look, she's never had a role. I don't know what she's had a role in, honestly. She obviously wasn't a border czar either, but, that's, how selfish of her too, to realize this guy is trying to handle potentially, one of the worst storms to hit Florida in a long time. And obviously he's got a lot of stuff going on right now. And for her to even if we know she didn't call him, but even if she did, it's like, oh, he didn't take my phone call. Right? What are you talking about here?
Yeah, here's funny that we just got a commenter here. Vicky on on Facebook says it's customary for presidential candidates to call. He knows that. Well, Vicky, the thing is, she didn't call.
Yeah, that's a funny thing.
It was a fake news story from ABC.
Yeah,
and she just went along with it.
Yeah,
and then come to find out, she never called him. It's mind-boggling.
And as I said, that's his simple response is, I never got a call from her. And they said, oh, we got some insider sources from inside his administration. Well, I don't know what sources you have because that didn't happen. It's very clear. Like I said, that kind of disinformation, as Karine Jean-Pierre would say, is just absolutely ridiculous.
All right. We got Matt Bishop here in the studio. Matt, you got time for another segment or so?
Yeah, I got one more segment in me.
You got one more segment in you?
Yeah.
Let's take a break real quick. And if you're watching online, stay online. We're going to keep on rolling through the break. This is the Clay Edwards Show, joined this morning by Matt Bishop, host of The Full Story here on WYAB. And we will be right back after this break. Yeah, so you got to keep the headphones off during the break because you hear all the commercials.
Yeah,
so haven't quite figured out that part. Let's see here, man. Let's check out some of the comments here online.
Yeah.
We got the chats pulled up on the screen so everybody can see everybody's chats from all the different platforms.
Nice.
Good morning to everybody. Jason asked, do I have any big boy sizes? Jason, I may have gotten a 4X or so. I don't know if I got any 5 or not, but I think I got a few big boy sizes. Grusafarian on YouTube says, it certainly looks like sabotage, talking about the helicopter. Also says, I can believe that it may have been accidental, but it just looks fishy as hell.
It's bad optics, as you said. Right? There's definitely no question it has a bad look.
Just with everything else going on.
Yeah.
It's just like, I mean, if you wanted how to stir the conspiracy theory pot, this is how you do it.
Yeah. Well, I said, as being someone on the side of the army when these things come up, you're like, son of a gun. Like, what are we doing here? It's like, this is the last thing we need. So yeah, optics are horrible.
So one of the other things you and I talked about off air before we got started this morning was the FEMA video where they're prioritizing the LGBTQs.
Yeah.
We talked about this on my show yesterday too, and it had me so fired up. I circled back to it my afternoon live stream yesterday, and there's another video that's come out where they're also prioritizing the misgendering of immigrant trans women at shelters as a priority.
Yeah.
This is a big problem. Of all the things, like, what?
The identity politics that the Democrat Party has found itself in is just getting worse, right? Because they're trying to. But the funny thing is, it's starting to kind of come back around because you can't please all of them, but
and they all want to be the priorities.
Oh, absolutely, they're the most important thing, right? That's kind of the point of the identity politics part of it, right?
There's the inevitability of infighting, and that's, if you sit back long enough and just let the Democrats run the roost, they'll start doing Game of Thrones.
Yeah, they're going to start cannibalizing each other, but that, like you said, that's they're always trying to play both those cards, which again it's gonna catch up with you eventually. But the whole idea, like I've talked about this on my show, the whole idea of equity is such a dangerous proposition, any kind of way, right? Equity is not what this country is about. Our country's always been about equality, not equity. So that is. That focus on equity is just a dangerous path to go down.
Anytime I hear they were talking about disaster equity, yesterday, equity disaster, I was like, no, that sounds terrible. That sounds like something out of a horror movie.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, as they're talking about that Zoom video or whatever kind of video it was. They opened up with, it's disaster equality is too utilitarian. It's so far we've focused on helping the most amount of people possible. What are you talking about? Yes, of course you are. That's what it's always been about. That's the point of emergency management. As I talk to my show, it's just, these disasters hurt people equally, no matter where you come from or who you are, or who you sleep with. It's going to destroy your home no matter what.
Yeah, I mean, I said this yesterday. If I'm sitting there on the top of a mountain or a house or whatever, and the National Guard, FEMA, whoever rolls up and is like, they only got room for one, and they're going to, either one of you gay or trans?
I'm pushing the other guy off the house
Yeah.
if he raises his hand.
Yeah.
If it's me or him and his sexuality is the deal breaker,
Yeah.
I'm eliminating one of us from the scenario.
I'll just say I'll be whatever you want me to be, whatever it takes to get me on that helicopter.
Yeah. I'm the super transiest.
That's right. Call me whatever you want to call me, my friend.
We're back. Welcome back in to the Clay Edwards Show here live on WYAB. We get carried away in these breaks with some of this conversation, so sometimes they bleed into the comeback.
Yes.
From the during the intro there. But anyway, this segment, in fact, is going to be brought to you by my friends over at Boykin Contractors in Florence, Mississippi. Look, man, Boykin can do construction, roofing, remodeling, additions, repair, and they work all over the metro area. Tons of satisfied customers and repeat customers. Licensed, bonded, and insured with the Mississippi Board of Contractors. Guys, that's so important nowadays. You don't want a contractor to come in and screw something up or an accident happen later on down the road because they didn't do something correct, and then it falls back on you, and your homeowner's insurance is not going to cover that if those guys weren't licensed, bonded, and insured. There's actually been a new law passed here in the last session or two that clarifies that. So you want to be very careful about who you use. Make sure they got good references and that they're licensed, bonded, and insured. You ain't got to worry about that with Boykin Contractors. Bryce Boykin is the owner. He's a good Christian man. He operates his business as a Christ-centered company with honesty and integrity. You're not going to have to worry about giving Bryce your money and him running off with it, not coming back. That's one of the biggest things I see in these Facebook community groups. Yeah. Don't do business with this guy. He took my money and never came back. Don't give these people your money.
Yeah.
But that's a whole nother conversation for another day. You ain't got to worry about that with Bryce Boykin. Give him a call, 601-951-7336. I know you're not going to remember that, so just Google or Facebook Boykin. That's Boykin, Contractors in Florence, Mississippi. Let him get you taken care of today. It's not too late to get you a deck and throw your TV out there and enjoy fall.
The weather's getting right there.
Football weather, man.
Yeah.
This is perfect. And you know what? You look great. You look great wearing one of my FAFO hoodies out on that deck.
It's perfect for all of it.
They'll be in this week. You can get one. Get your one at buyfafo.com. Never above plugging the merch shop there.
Do you ever say FAFO? Or is it FAFO? Which one do you know? Does
Well,
anybody ever say FAFO?
Man, I've said it so many times now. Just like FAFO. If you fa, there's the inevitable foe.
Oh, that's right.
So we've tried to have some fun with it. I feel like hopefully it's not running its course anytime soon. But people keep fawing and they're gonna keep foeing.
There you going.
Let's see here, man. We got a call coming in on the Mazda of Jackson phone line this morning. Not sure who this is, but hey, we love phone calls on the Clay Edwards Show. So let's see what we got here. Hey, what's up? Man, we got a little communication issue there. Let's try it one more time. A little too much static, caller. Try calling back, man. I hate that, but sometimes it be like that.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Kamala.
Kamala.
You know, man, I'm not even trying to say her name wrong.
Yeah.
Like, I don't care. I would typically pronounce your name the way, I'm going to pronounce it the way it sounds.
Yeah.
The way it spells. Like Chokwe in Jackson, he says it's Chuckway. No, it's,
I've never heard that one.
yeah, like he says it's Chuckway. She says hers is Kamala. No, that would be with a C. By the way, like Camelot, Kamala, that'd be with a C. But anyway, Kamala, I'm just the wrestler. Kamala.
That's right.
When I see it, that's how I say it. It's not necessarily a disrespectful thing. It's just, anyway, I digress. We got our caller back. All right, it works this time on the Mazda Jackson phone line. Hey, you're on there?
Yeah, I just wanted to comment on Kamala Harris's role in the storm. Governor DeSantis is dead on. The vice president has zero role unless directly appointed in an emergency relief program. And for her to say anything other than our thoughts and prayers with the people of Florida is ridiculous. I've worked both at the federal and the state and the local level in emergency management for quite a number of years, currently do it as well now. For anyone to even try to understand the federal response or the state response to a hurricane, if they have never done it, is useless. So the only thing a person like her can bring to a situation like this is confusion and misinformation. She's out of her depth, again, talking about a government response to a program that she knows absolutely nothing about. And that is her track record. That is the one thing she is consistent about, is speaking on topics that she knows nothing about.
Amen.
Thank you. That's all I have.
Great call, brother. Appreciate you, man. What a great point.
Spot on. I mean, that's her in a nutshell. Because I think what he says. I don't think she's competent to say anything on what she even knows what her role is. We haven't heard about her until she obviously just magically became the nominee. So this was the only time we've really heard about her.
True enough. Guys, if you want to text into the show, the Guns of Gear text line is 769-241-1944. If you want to call in, the Mazda of Jackson phone line is 601-879-0002. Frisco on the Guns of Gear text line says, Clay, misinformation and disinformation have been around forever. We used to just call them less fancy names like lies.
That's a great name. That's a great word for it that we have.
Touche. Anna Barnes says Kamala, and her word salad. It is definitely word salad. Look, we've got my buddy Matt here for about 5 or 6 more minutes. I want to jump into a little bit of speaking of word salad.
Yeah.
I've got so many clips from her 60 Minutes debacle. Mm-hmm. I actually did a full video with every clip last night before I went to bed. It's up on my YouTube channel at SaveJXN if y'all want to hear my thoughts on every single video. I tried to do my best incendiary responses as I could.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Which one do we want to hit first? What is the most absurd thing that I think she talked about last night? Is there one that jumps out at your mind, Matt, while I stroll through them here?
Man, it's just funny that, she's doing this media blitz right now. And trying to make herself seem, more approachable, I guess. But she continues to fail at it. But one thing I find interesting, just overall, because obviously this week she's doing Howard Stern this week. She's doing 60 Minutes.
She did Call Her Daddy, which I have a phenomenal clip from, by the way.
She's doing one of the late night shows. One thing that tells me this from a political standpoint, from a political strategy standpoint, is that they feel like they have to do it now. They see that she's actually doing worse in the polls than Joe Biden was in swing states like Michigan. And their whole plan from the get-go, which I said on my show for a long time, was could have been a good plan if it was working for them, is keep her out of the media as much as possible. Because word salad, right? As we talked about. So the fact that she's doing this media blitz right now and this week and continues to do it is, I think, goes to show they're worried. That they feel it's like, shoot, that strategy is not working. We have to get out there, in front of the people. Now she's doing it for all favorable people, right? Like the 60 Minutes, like Howard Stern. She's doing it with people who are all very favorable to her. At least Waltz did the Shannon Bream interview on Sunday. At least he did something with Fox News.
I've been covering the border.
But you're good. So, I think that shows that the Harris camp is getting a little bit more worried as they do this media blitz.
Well, here is the CBS reporter actually doing his job and drilling her on 3 different times here, not letting her weasel out of this about the border disaster.
Yeah.
I thought this was the best clip and could single-handedly, if Democrat voters actually cared, sabotage the entire election for her. Let's listen to this real quick.
I've been covering the border for years, and so I know this is not a problem that started with your administration.
Correct.
But there was an historic flood of undocumented immigrants coming across the border the first 3 years of your administration. As a matter of fact, arrivals quadrupled from the last year of President Trump. Was it a mistake to loosen the immigration policies as much as you did?
It's a long-standing problem, and solutions are at hand. And from day one, literally, we have been offering solutions.
What I was asking was it a mistake to kind of allow that flood to happen in the first place?
I think the policies that we have been proposing are about fixing a problem, not promoting a problem. Okay?
But the numbers did quadruple.
And the numbers today, because of what we have done, we have cut the flow of illegal immigration by half.
But should you have done
cut
that?
the flow of fentanyl by half, but we need Congress to be able to act to actually fix the problem.
So this is what happens when you're a dumbass, and you're just memorizing what you're told to say.
Well,
and you have no depth to actually give a legitimate answer.
Yeah, well, there is no way. Essentially, she says, look, you have a question. You know what? I have an answer, and that's what I'm giving you is an answer, and the answer is what the answer is. That's essentially what she said, right? That's all. She said, we have solution, and solution is what happened is solution. And he's like, well, wait a minute, we know the numbers are higher. What are you talking about? But,
And it's a self-inflicted, 100% self-inflicted gunshot wound, at which they just can't seem to get away from.
It's the biggest, obviously the Trump campaign recognizes this, which is why they have focused a lot of their campaign on the border crisis. And I think the economy is still the number one thing, as in most elections, but the border crisis is affecting more and more people, and it's something they cannot get away from. And it's obviously their biggest weakness, because she has been called the border czar. I played it on, on my show where Biden made her the border czar. And these numbers, the numbers don't lie. They're pretty clear. And, anytime we talk about illegal immigration, the numbers are still always much higher than what they actually are, because they're in fact illegal. So it just gets worse and worse.
Now, I have one more clip here. This is from last month. It has nothing to do with anything, but to me, this is just peak Kamala right here. And we're going to let you go on this one. It would help if I unmuted it. How about that?
Usually helps.
Here we go. This is Kamala, peak Kamala.
We just need to move past the failed policies that we have proven don't work.
Touche.
Yes.
Touche. Matt Bishop, thank you for sitting in this first hour with us, introducing it to my online audience and maybe people who hadn't had a chance to hear you. Y'all can check Matt out every Monday through Friday morning, 6 a.m. to 7 a.m. live right here in the studio with the full story. And the name speaks for itself. If you listen to one of Matt's shows, you'll understand why it's called The Full Story, because he definitely peels the onion back and gets to the word that the Democrats love, the root cause.
The root cause.
The root cause
That's right.
of whatever the problem is. Matt gets to it. And basically, it's just all facts, no fiction. And that's what we all enjoy nowadays. I think people are craving truth.
It's hard to find it. It's very hard to find it. And it's hard to find those actual truth. You got to really, really look to try to get multiple sources. It's kind of crazy.
Absolutely. Matt Bishop, thank you. Guys, I'll be right back after this on The Clay Edwards Show. All right, welcome back into the Clay Edwards Show. We got about a minute here before the top of the hour break. Seems like a good time to remind y'all to get out to Shuckers this Friday night, all the way from the Flora-Bama nightclub to the Reservoir. It's Big Earl and the Sexual Biscuits performing live at Shuckers on the Res. It's going to be a big old party. Jacktown's very own The Bubba Wingfield Experience will be opening the show. If you've ever been to the Flora-Bama and had a good old time, it's a dang good chance that Big Earl and the Sexual Biscuits were the band on stage. They're bringing all that energy, all that Flora-Bama juju up to Shuckers on the Res in Ridgeland this Friday night. Doors open at 4:00 with the Bubba Wingfield Experience. I'll be broadcasting live from 2 to 4 out on the deck. I'll be interviewing Big Earl, Daryl Dirty D. Arnold, the manager of Shuckers, and who knows who else will be there. Swing by, get your tickets in advance now at Shuckers, only $35. This will be a guaranteed sellout. Don't meet me there, beat me there. Shuckers this Friday night. Big Earl from the Flora-Bama. We'll be right back on WYAB. All right, guys, I'm going to hang out with y'all here during the break. We got a 7-minute top of the hour news break here on WYAB. So see if we can't move that out of the way there. All right, see if we can't have a little fun in the meantime. Let's see here. Man, I did a ton of show prep last night. I actually did my job last night, believe it or not. And that included doing a bunch of show prep. Made a bunch of videos. All that good stuff. If you guys would, man, if you'd hit the share button wherever you're watching this at, let's get some more folks up in here. We got your comments pulled up on the screen there. Would love to get some more people in here watching the show this morning. It's a Tuesday morning, regardless of it saying Thursday. It is, in fact, Tuesday. It all runs together after a while. I'm going to be completely honest with you. Real quick here, man, something else. I stopped by and talked to my folks at the City of Pearl yesterday. They got their big old shindig this Saturday. They got their Oktoberfest and Gumbo Festival going on at Pearl City Park. There's going to be beer, of course. It's an Oktoberfest. You have to have beer. There's going to be music, live music, in fact, food, gumbo, and there'll be other vendors selling other type of food. There's going to be a car show, a kid zone, and more. And here's the thing. There's this gumbo cook-off. This thing must be flying under the radar a little bit because as of yesterday, there were only a couple of people signed up for this, which tells me that you got a really damn good chance of winning one of these prizes if you can halfway cook some gumbo. First place, $1,500. Second place, $1,000. Third place, $750. If the Main Street Pearl folks select your gumbo as their favorite, that's $500. If you got the most spirited, decorated booth, there's $250. You got a really, really good chance of winning some of this money if you can just show up and cook some gumbo. Get in touch with them today, and get signed up for the gumbo cook-off. There is an entry fee, $100 entry fee, but man, your odds of winning are phenomenal with this thing. If I didn't have to do my sports show at McBee's Saturday morning, I would in fact be cooking gumbo there at Pearl City Park. But look, me and Sean will be there. About we get through with our sports show at noon at McBee's, and then we'll be over there from 1 p.m. until having a good old time. Because look, one thing I like to do is have a good time. Nobody will ever accuse Clay Edwards of not enjoying having a good time. About that life, to say the least. So y'all be thinking about that. If you can cook a little gumbo, get over there to Pearl City Park this Saturday. Heck, if you don't want to cook, just come out and enjoy some gumbo, some beer, live music, just good time. And weather's going to boom, shakalaka boom. We're back here live on the Clay Edwards Show on 103.9 FM WYAB. We're streaming worldwide at WYAB.com, as well as the TuneIn app and Alexa. Just search WYAB. Once you get there, just rip the knob off, so to say. You got this show. You've got following this show on Tuesday, Mondays and Tuesdays. You got the Chip Matthews Show. Wednesdays and Thursdays from 9 to 10, it's the Mike Madison Show. And Fridays, it's the not live music, but is the Blue Cross Blue Shield Arts and Blues Show with Chris doing that one. Chris Davis doing that show from 10 p.m. to noon, Monday through Friday. It's the Jameson Haygood Show. Then we got several national shows in the midday, and the main event, Radio Strongman himself, every afternoon, 4 to 6, bringing home with the heat. It is Kim Wade, the OG, every day here on WYAB. Be sure to check out Kim Wade's podcast. Just search for the Kim Wade Show wherever you download podcast, stream music, etc. And it is there, as well as the Clay Edwards Show. If in case you missed any of this and you don't want to watch it on video, you want to listen to it on the podcast app, that is an option for you. This segment is going to be brought to you by our friends out at 042 Wine and Spirits, located on Highway 80, or West Government Boulevard, as some would call it, right there in the OG Brandon, 39042 Brandon, right in front of Cross Gates, right next door to Sonny's Barbecue there on Highway 80. You know, you live in a small town when Sonny's Barbecue is a reference point. It's like it's next to the Sonny's. Everybody knows where the Sonny's is. So right there next to Sonny's Barbecue, that's 042 Wine and Spirits, locally owned, locally operated. Man, they've got such a huge selection of all your favorite bourbons, vodkas, tequilas, Fireball, and more. And of course, they got a huge selection of wine. They have all your favorite locally crafted spirits, Cathead, and more. So get over there, check them out today. Maybe you just need a good mixer, a good Bloody Mary mix. I keep talking about it. We live in the golden age of Bloody Mary mixes. I mean, I'm a Zing Zang guy. I love it. But there is some really, really good stuff out there where you don't have to add anything to it. Just pour, mix it with your vodka, and go. And have some great Bloody Marys. Maybe you like mimosas. They got everything you need there to make it all happen at 042 Wine and Spirits. Swing by, check them out today. Let them know you heard it on the Clay Edwards Show. And look, man, they got some great staff there as well. Guys that can help you with creating your favorite elixir. Maybe you need a good recipe. You don't know how to do it. Ask Kevin and one of the other great staff members there. They'll get you hooked up today. All right. They're on Facebook too. Just type in 042 Wine and Spirits. All right, man. Yesterday, we're going to bring it back home local here for a minute. If you guys want to chime in, the Guns and Gear text line is 769-241-1944. The Mazda Jackson phone line. The phone's been lit up this week, man. Love hearing from you guys. It's 601-879-0002. We're going to talk about, excuse my French here, dumbass Democrat mayors across the country this morning. We're going to start here locally with Chokwe Lumumba, because why wouldn't we? Anytime he says something stupid, I want to make sure we cover it. So that's pretty much every time he opens his mouth. Oh, man, I can't wait. I can't wait for the day that I get to do the celebration dance when this guy does the perp walk. When the indictments, allegedly, of course, finally come down and you guys get to see that I've been right all along. There's going to be a lot of crow eating around this town. A whole lot of crow. I hope y'all like crow. Because I got a whole list of people that we're going to spend a whole day on this radio show calling out. We may even try to call them, literally, while we're live on the air and get a response from them. So, looking forward to that. But in the meantime, the mayor continues to blame all of Jackson's problems. That's right. All the dead bodies in the streets, all the single mothers, all the poverty, all the self-inflicted chaos. He continues to blame all of Jackson's problems on Tate Reeves. Now, I ain't never going to be confused as somebody who's caping for Tate Reeves. But I'm also not going to sit here and lie. Tate Reeves has done more for Jackson than any governor in recent history. He saved Jackson. Literally saved Jackson. He fixed y'all's water. He gave y'all an entire new police department on the state's dime in the Capitol Police. And y'all continue to act like Tate ain't funding Jackson. Here's the mayor. Well, first off, this is from WLBT. It's only about a minute long, their video. There wasn't a video to this story last night, so I haven't had a chance to listen to it yet. I will read the entire dang article if I have to, but let's listen to old Chokwe making excuses, doing what he does best, gaslighting and deflecting.
Chokwe Lumumba speaks out today about the relationship between the city and the state.
This comes after the city filed suit to block the state's efforts for ownership of Smith-Wills Stadium. This is not the only lawsuit the city is part of when it comes to the state. The city's involved in a more than 8-year lawsuit filed by airport officials to block the state takeover of the Jackson Medgar Wiley Evers International Airport. The city is also working to block any future takeover of the water system. Lumumba says one thing that would improve the relationship is to stop taking away the city's resources, calling it an organized effort to take resources from the city of Jackson.
The issues that are strained are not because the city in some way puts itself in a defiant position. It's because these are things critical to our development as a city. As mayor, when you're trying to take a stadium from the city, what am I supposed to do? Am I supposed to say, yeah, come on in, take a resource from us when you're trying to take our airport? Am I in some way oppositional because I say, listen, let's not do that?
Lumumba says he does not plan to give up city resources in order to improve the city's relationship with the state.
Well, it doesn't really matter what he plans to do. What's going to happen is we taking that. That's ours now. That belongs to us. That's our stadium now. You know, I love the fact that I got to break that story about them taking the stadium. I know, of course, I didn't get the credit for it. I don't recall anybody saying, as first reported by Save Jackson, but whatever. Y'all know. I know, he knows, she know, everybody know that we got to break that story. But neither here nor there. That's not what I'm here for. I'm here to mock, meme, and be very incendiary every time these idiots fall flat on their face. So, the state has been trying to take the airport for years because the airport is a disaster. Like, I don't fly, but I have plenty of friends that do, and they send me photos all the time of the airport, and it's in disrepair. The escalator hasn't worked in years. Why don't the escalator work at the airport, y'all? Right here, our very own WYAB, one of our staff members got off a plane yesterday. Or they were at the airport yesterday. We'll just say that. Or maybe somebody sent it to them. It doesn't matter. You can see it on the WYAB Facebook page. I'll pluck the picture and share it. They are selling in the gift shop at the airport Joe Biden and Kamala Harris shirts. That's disgusting. This is not. First off, that airport's in Rankin County. That's God's country, for starters. We don't want Joe Biden or Kamala Harris shirts being sold in Rankin County. The only thing that could be done with those shirts is in this great toilet paper shortage of 2024, they could be used as toilet paper. And they should be donated to people that need them for that purpose and that purpose alone. Not to be worn selling Joe Biden shirts in my back, Kamala Harris shirts in my backyard. As far as the stadium goes, you FOD, now you FO. You were told not to run a bar out there, to only use it for park purposes. You got a guy out there that's renting the stadium that ain't paid any money. To the last time I checked anyway, maybe he's caught up some, I don't know, that has signed a side deal with the federal government that says the parking lot is for, the Veterans Hospital. For the Veterans Hospital, parking only. The VA. VA parking only. Well, that right there is being used for something other than park purposes. Period. He's making more money. If you look at the rent per year versus the money per year he's making on that contract, he's making more money not allowing people to park at the parking lot, which I think it's illegal, by the way. That is a taxpayer-owned parking lot that you're telling me a private citizen's able to rent out to the federal government, and taxpayers can't park in that parking lot without getting towed. I think there should be a lawsuit right there. I'm just going to be honest with you. That should be a lawsuit. So, anyway. So, that to me, it's just ridiculous to be fighting about the state take. What he should be saying is, yes, God, please take this boat anchor off from around our necks. Because on paper, it's costing the city money. The city is losing money on Smith-Wills Stadium. I don't mean to jump down a rabbit hole about Smith-Wills Stadium here, but it just all makes me think that he's getting some kind of kickback to be fighting it. The water. They literally ran the water into the ground, and it quit working because they refused to maintenance it. The state had to come in and save them. Democrats love to say the word literally. So if you're new here and you hear my over-exaggeration of the word literally, it's because I'm making fun of Democrats. Because anytime they say literally, it's usually them talking about Donald Trump. Trump is literally Hitler. Literally a Nazi. So anytime I say literally, I'm making fun of Democrats. And I love making fun of Democrats. But all this just makes me think it's just like that helicopter video we played earlier. Okay, maybe that was all a big accident, that Black Hawk helicopter was basically unmarked because the stuff was camouflaged with black stickers on a black paint job. Excuse somebody for thinking it was unmarked. going and destroying donations for hurricane victims in the midst of all the rumors going around about FEMA destroying donations for hurricane victims. Yeah, the optics are terrible. Just like with Smith Wills, the optics are terrible. Because on paper, it's losing money. And the guy running it ain't paid you no money. But you're fighting for him to be able to keep it. Why would you do that? Make it make sense. Unless you're getting some money on the back end. That's how it looks. I'm not saying that's what's happening, but the optics suggest something ain't right. Let's take a break. We're going to shift gears when we come back, and we're going to talk about the mayor of Chicago and what an idiot he is. Oh yeah, I think him and Chokwe must be having a text conversation that goes something like this: "Hey, I'm the worst mayor in America." No. Hold my beer. We'll be right back on the Clay Edwards Show right here on WYAB. Streaming online at Save JXN on Facebook, YouTube, and X. If you're watching there, please hit the share button. If you're not watching there, you want to check it out, see what your boy looks like if you don't already know. If you want to chime in, we got a great community over there in the chat session. Get to know other listeners and viewers. We will be right back after this. All right, guys, I'm going to stay live with y'all here online during the break. Let's see. Eileen, good morning, says, amen. Shows what this country's coming to. Absolutely. Brent, circling back to your comment there about every elected office can be impeached. There's a way that he can be removed. I'm sure. I'm not sure what it is, and I don't think any of them have the appetite to do it. So, we'll see. It ain't gonna happen. The problem is the reason black folks ain't gonna impeach other black folks. I don't think you've ever seen that happen. Black folks are not allowed to kick another black person down. You can't hate on another black man. That's like a big thing in their community, and it's why their community is in the situation it's in, because there's no accountability, because you're not allowed to disparage another black man. And that's a problem. That's something I talk about a lot on this show. And that's one of the, I'm glad you brought that up. It sends me down a good rabbit hole here. That's one of the biggest problems in the black community is there's little to no accountability for black people by black people. And it ain't racist to say that. If it's the truth, it's not racist, by the way. You may not like it, but it ain't racist. If it's reality, it ain't racist. Anyway, didn't nobody say that, but I've had this conversation enough. I've been called a racist enough for having it that it just I know what's coming. But there's no accountability. Nobody wants to call out the other person for not doing their jobs or for screwing stuff up. It's very disheartening, because I know so many good black folks that would be phenomenal at being mayor of Jackson. And there are a few people. I'm not throwing the baby out with the bathwater here. Kim Wade, hosts that show right here on WYAB, potentially running for mayor of Jackson. He, in fact, holds people accountable. Another fella listens to this show, surprisingly not in the comments this morning, Corinthian Sanders, running for mayor of Jackson. He ain't scared to call people out. There's not enough people like them in the community. Yeah. I learned when I started doing this, just on the Save Jackson Facebook level, calling people out, talking about these crimes, that it is way more frowned upon to talk about the crime, to call people out for the crime than it is. Like, they get more upset with me for talking about it than they do the people for doing it. That's real talk. It is a very interesting how that culture works. And that's why I call it culture rot. That's why Kim Wade calls it Democrat death culture. Because it's just that. It is it's a death cult is what it is. It's a death cult. I am pulling up this video I've got of the Chicago mayor here. So if I seem a little unplugged here for just a minute, y'all give me just a second here. I saved a lot of videos last night of Kamala Harris. I got it here.
The so-called fiscally responsible.
We're going to play this when we come back. Let me get it moved over here to make sure I got enough time. All right. Let me get it moved over here to the big screen so you guys can see it. Sometimes you need the visual to go along with the audio to really appreciate the stupidity of something. Breaking rules when necessary. That's what we do around here. Break rules when necessary. This is the Clay Edwards Show. I'm, of course, Clay Edwards. This segment brought to you by our good friends over at Stonington Farm Beef. Guys, and check out the grass-fed difference. Locally sourced beef right here from Mississippi, down in Perkinston, Mississippi to be exact. I used a pound of my grass-fed ground beef last night. Well, actually, I did it Sunday night, but I'm still enjoying it last night. I made some tacos. Used my little keto shells. I know y'all don't care about all that, but neither here nor there. It's the best ground beef you'll ever eat in your life. And of course, they have steaks and every cut of the cow that you could possibly want. They have it available at Stonington Farms. You can check them out online. Stonington with 2 N's, farm.com. They come up here to Central Mississippi once a month. They deliver, they meet up in 3 local in the Tri-County area, Florence, Brandon, and Ridgeland. You can't go buy it off the truck. You got to put your order in advance. Then you go meet them there. You can pay with debit card, cash, whatever. Once you get there, you will not regret it. I can assure you that. Everybody that gets it, they never revert back to store-bought beef. It's 100% grass-fed, 100% grass-finished, mRNA-free, antibiotic-free, locally sourced in Mississippi grass-fed beef. Check it out. If you've never had grass-fed, you'll never go back. You got my word on that. All right, so let's talk about the mayor of Chicago here. Another babbling buffoon trying to be the worst mayor in America. I mean, does the Democrat National Committee give out bonuses at the end of the year, like Christmas bonuses to whoever can destroy their cities the most, to whoever has the highest death rate in the country, to whoever has the least jobs in America, to whoever allows the most amount of illegal migrants in the country? I mean, are there bonuses given out for this stuff? There has to be. Let's listen to Mayor Johnson blame, what is it he said exactly? I want to make sure I get the context right on this. It says Chicago Mayor Brandon Johnson says forcing governments to be physically responsible is comparable to slavery. Okay. Asking folks to pay their bills and live within their means is slavery. Noted. Let's listen to him say it, though.
And then the so-called exports, the so-called fiscally responsible stewards, are making the same argument when our people wanted to be liberated and emancipated in this country. The argument was you can't free black people because it would be too expensive. They said that it would be fiscally irresponsible for this country to liberate black people. And now you have detractors making the same argument of the Confederacy when it comes to public education in this system. And then the so-called exports, the so-called
why do these clowns continue to speak in civil rights rhetoric in 2024? I mean, seriously. I can't quite wrap my head around why they feel like they still have to speak in this angry civil rights tone. It's these black politicians speaking in riddles all the time. I mean, this civil rights era nonsense is comical. Every single problem in their community is self-inflicted in 2024, and anyone who suggests otherwise is complicit in those problems. As far as I'm concerned, if you're not actively calling these people out for their own policies, being the reason their communities are in the situations they're in, you are part of the problem. White people in Fondren and Belhaven, I'm talking to you right now. Yes, I'm talking to you. Y'all are complicit in a lot of this if you don't start calling these people out and quit going along to get along. I mean, the state had to step in and give y'all the Capitol Police because it got so bad in your neighborhoods because of these very policies in Jackson, Mississippi. Crickets. If anybody disagrees with me, I'd love to hear from you this morning. 601-879-0002 is the Guns and Gear text line. I don't care about what happened in 1960. I don't give a damn. If it happened before my time on this rock began, I'm not apologizing for it. I don't care. And you're never gonna change my mind. I don't care what a bunch of old racist white Democrats did to folks in 1960. I ain't a Democrat and I ain't racist. I didn't do it. I ain't apologizing for it. And I'm not going to live in this with this guilt-ridden nonsense and go along to get along. I'm going to call this crap out. As Kim Wade would say, I'm going to break it up at the dough. We ain't doing it no more. People are fed up. For the last 30 years, you guys have had full control of Jackson, Mississippi. Unabated control. And you ran it right off the rails. Like a train wreck in East Palestine, Ohio. It's an absolute disaster of epic proportions. We're not doing it your way anymore. Fondren, Belhaven, Eastover, Leftover. There's enough of y'all to get out there and make a difference in the next mayoral election. It's insulting of you all to vote for a buffoon like Brandon Presley, who is going to come in and dismantle the Capitol Police. Now, I'm just going to sit back and laugh because it ain't going to affect me. It ain't going to affect Clay Edwards. It's going to affect y'all. Talk about, Democrats love to tell you after every election in Mississippi, your Brad Franklins of the world, your white liberals over at Mississippi Free Press and like-minded publications, your rainbow supremacists. They love to tell you that, let me stop sharing here. They love to tell you that poor white people always voting against their best interests in Mississippi by voting Republican. Well, poor black folks been voting Democrat my entire life in Jackson, Mississippi. How's that working out? You want to talk about voting against your best interest? Please enlighten me on how anybody other than the black for a living minority set-asides and these politicians who are getting their legal forms of reparations by manipulating who gets these contracts, these city contracts. Please enlighten me on how anybody other than them have benefited a lick from continuing to vote Democrat in these cities. Talk about voting against your best interest. This is the Clay Edwards Show. We will be right back here on WYAB. All right, guys, I got to take a bathroom break. During this break, I will be right back here on the RADIO. We got a whole another 30 minutes to go almost. We ain't nowhere near over this morning. Hope you guys are having a great morning. Don't forget to get out to Pearl this Saturday. I'm going to leave the flyer up there while I'm going on my bathroom break. Welcome back into the Clay Edwards Show. This segment brought to you by our friends over at the Havana Smoke Shop right there in Jackson and Havana Cigars on the Res. They are your destinations for premier hand-rolled premium cigars in the Jackson metro area. How about an Olivia, Arturo Fuente, Liga Privada, Romeo and Juliet, I hope I'm saying that right, Macanudo, and Monte Cristo Perdomo cigars, just to name a few. Come by either Havana Smoke Shop on 55 Frontage Road or Havana Cigars on the Res right there off the Spillway, right down from Willie B's Steakhouse, and get your favorite premium cigar or accessory. And shout out, don't remember who exactly. I had to go back and look at my PayPal, but one of our great listeners sent me $20 and told me a particular cigar I needed to go try out. So I'm definitely going to take them up on that. I've been working with Brad, who also Brad's dad owns the cigars, and Brad owns 042 Wine and Spirits. We're working together to arrange a little get-together at the liquor store and the cigar bar. So we'll keep you guys posted on that. It'll be here in the coming weeks, and I'm going to use that $20 for that very for its very intended purpose, and I'm gonna try a cigar. So looking forward to that. Looking forward to hanging out with my cigar consuming friends. Maybe we can have a glass of good bourbon from 042 Wine and Spirits while we're doing it. So y'all be sure to get by Havana Smoke Shop. Support them because they are supporting us, and that's always a good deal as far as I'm concerned. During the break there, I ran across this story because I can't be distracted long enough not to look at my phone when I'm using the restroom. This is from the New York Post concerning Hurricane Milton. I mean, first off, thoughts and prayers to our friends in Florida. They're about to get punched in the gut. This storm is approaching, it doesn't exist, but Category 6 levels. If there were Category 6, the storm would be a Category 6 from my understanding. And frankly, not that it damn matters. Category 4, 5, 6, 10, 12. Category, we're screwed. That's the levels that's the level this storm has reached. Per the Clay Edwards Storm Tracking Center. But this is from the New York Post. It says Milton reaching max limits leads to calls for a new Category 6 designation for hurricanes. Says Hurricane Milton is threatening to reach known maximum limits with winds gusts already topping 200 miles per hour, leading to calls for a new Category 6 designation for such a historic superstorm. Quote, the storm is nothing short of astronomical, Florida meteorologist Noah Bergen said late Monday as Milton reached sustained winds of 180 miles per hour and gust winds of 200 plus miles per hour. Quote, I'm at a loss for words to meteorologically describe to you the storm's small eye and intensity, he marveled. Says, this hurricane is nearing the mathematical limit of what Earth's atmosphere over the ocean water can produce. I don't know about y'all, but I've never heard that said before. Says after being a monster Category 5 storm for much of Monday, Milton was downgraded early Tuesday to a Category 4 with a maximum sustained winds of 155 miles per hour, just 2 miles per hour below a Category 5, but is expected to increase again as it chums. I hate that word, chum. Some people hate the word moist. I hate the word chum. As it chums towards Florida's Gulf Coast, where it's expected to have a devastating impact. After forming in the Gulf of Mexico, Milton rapidly accelerated from a tropical storm with 60 mile per hour winds Sunday morning to a deadly 180 mile per hour Category 5 hurricane by Monday. An incredible trebling of power in only 36 hours. I mean, look, I don't care if you call it a Category 5, a Category 6. It doesn't change how bad it is. Absolutely devastating. So I was listening to something. It was a podcast or something last night or weather. I listen to so much content. It just always it's like Scrabble in my brain. But Florida Senator Marco Rubio had the Weather Service, NOAA, whoever it was, maybe one of the big government weather agencies, run a test of what he called a worst case scenario hurricane event from Florida, absolute worst case scenario, and said that this storm's predicted impact exceeded their worst expectations scenario. It's going to be bad, guys. And it's hitting some highly, highly populated areas. And I know that nobody likes to hear that anybody else could be impacted worse than we were with Katrina. But this is going to be worse than Katrina. Helene was worse than Katrina. So, again, there's nothing we can do to prevent impact, obviously. So just thoughts and prayers to them, and we will all be there in the aftermath to do what we need to do as fellow Americans. Really crazy. If you guys want to call in this morning, if you got anything to say, want to disagree, agree with me on any of my previous topics, or discuss the hurricane, 601-879-0002 is the Guns and Gear text line. No, I'm sorry. That's the Mazda Jackson phone line. The Guns and Gear text line is 769-241-1944. A chatter, a commenter on YouTube says, Roro says, how y'all think so low of black people, but always giving them advice? I don't think low of black people. I think low of black Democrat politicians. Big difference. I don't think low of black people. And touche. Y'all always giving us white folks advice. So I don't mind giving it right back. It's like, it's okay for y'all to say whatever you want to about us and tell us what we should be doing, but you don't like it when we do it back to y'all. So I'm just not going to play that game. If it's okay for you to do it, it's okay for me to do it. Let's take a call on the Mazda Jackson phone line. Hey, you're on there.
What's up, Clay? It's Elrod.
Hey, Elrod.
You mentioned something in one of your posts about, you were going to discuss whether this was man-made or not. I wanted to get on that subject of the whole HAARP.
Jump on it.
Because
jump on it.
There's so much. People say follow the science, and then people go, okay, here's some science. And they, well, that's baloney. That's not really real because the government hasn't said yes, it's okay. Just like the cloud seeding or the chemtrails, they said, oh, that's a lie. Why are you saying it's a lie? The airlines already admit we do this. They show you the tanks. This is what we do it for. And so, okay, we're going to change our story now. Okay, it's not a conspiracy theory, but the reason why they're doing it is not why you're saying they're doing it. Well, the side effect is exactly what we're saying it's doing. So, of course, that's the purpose of it. I imagine the intended purpose, and the intended purpose of the October surprise is turning on HAARP. That's what I think. And I think that one of the first times they did it was that tsunami that hit Japan, and then right after that they did the Katrina. They turned it on right before Katrina, and then I think they're snapping it on and off right now. I'll be honest with you.
I agree. They're doing something.
Think about this. Is there a way that you can create a high-pressure over an area? Yeah, is there a way with electrons or whatnot? I imagine this is what HAARP does, is create some sort of high pressure. And this is the reason why the hurricane Helene was steered to where it went, which was over its intended course, was pretty much the south. But it was the high pressure area was right over, Arkansas and Minnesota right there. So that's what kept it from killing us. The hurricane would have went, Katrina, right up the alley, right up the Mississippi. But it turned because of this high pressure area. And so, I'm thinking, can you steer it? Can a hurricane be steered? Because this is what's being proposed. Is this possible? So, this is the science we need to discuss. So, your thoughts?
Nothing surprises me, man. Look, I don't want to pretend that I understand how any of that works, but I sit like
I'm
you.
Trying to.
I sit back. I sit back and I say, man, they said it's a once in 1,000 year storm. Oh, so you can see back 1,000 years ago to tell me that this has happened before? I don't believe that a hurricane has hit the mountains before. I'm just gonna tell you, this is awfully suspicious timing. This was predicted to be the most active hurricane season in history, by the way.
Well, they said last year.
And we made it to
the same thing last year.
We made it to October without a storm. Once it's supposed to cool off outside and the temperatures in the Gulf actually came down, then we get our most active part of the season. I don't know.
Mm-hmm. That's suspicious to me, at best. But it's just the way people talk about science, follow the science. And then when you start following the science, there's a rabbit hole. There's a rabbit hole you fall down, and you can't stop because it keeps going and keeps going. And you want to verify what this person says, so you go to someone else's page to find out, hey, is this guy right? Let's debunk it. And then they're going, well, it's pretty much he's right. You keep going further and further down the rabbit hole with science. Please follow the science. Yeah, follow the money just like you follow the science.
Rod, appreciate it, brother. I'm going to jump to this other caller real quick. Let's take another call here on the Mazda Jackson phone line. Hey, thanks for staying on hold. You're on there. Hello.
Thank you, Mr. Edwards, for your show. I really enjoy it.
Thank you.
Your perspectives, they're very conservative. I live in a very liberal part of the country, so it gives me perspective and kind of gives me a reality check. So there are people out here in the liberal California that they don't share the same values as the leadership. So
you're listening to California?
Yeah.
Thank you.
So yeah, I have family in Jackson, so they left California a few years ago.
Okay. What part of California are you in?
We're in San Jose.
Okay, cool. Is that a pretty liberal area, San Jose?
Oh yeah, it's.
That's Northern California, isn't it?
Tech. It's tech. It's Facebook, Google.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
But thank you for sharing your passionate ideas and giving me something to share with my family over there, because I don't think they really listen to your show, but you've given me something to reflect on. So.
Well, I appreciate that, brother. Thank you so much for chiming in.
Have a blessed day.
Hey, you as well. Thank you. Hey, that was unexpected. Somebody listening from California, hey. Pretty cool. The Northern California, nonetheless. That's bucket list stuff there. I'll tell my folks about that. Look, we got to take a break here. We're going to come back and land the plane for the day. I do have a caller on hold. I'm going to take their call online. So if you're watching on social media, you'll be able to hear that. If you're listening on the radio, we'll be right back to land the plane for the day. This is the Clay Edwards Show. Let me hit the button I need to hit. Well, guys, I was going to try to take that phone call, but I don't think I can take it off air during the break, unfortunately. So what we're going to do when we come back is we're going to take this phone call. So a caller, stay on hold if you can hear my voice there. Hey, strong end to the show this morning. Strong end to the show this morning. Appreciate the great calls from Elrod, and I didn't catch that last fellow's name, but do appreciate it nonetheless. Oh, let's see. Yeah, I mean, look, I can sit here. If I can't do nothing else, I can rant about this culture in cities like Jackson, Mississippi. You will not prove me wrong on my I don't even call them opinions, my facts about the way Jackson, Mississippi, and other like-minded Democrat cities have been run. They've run it to enrich themselves and their immediate circle of minority set-aside contractors. That's why the mayor of Jackson's throwing such a fit about wrangling back control of Jackson Water, because Ted Hennepin ain't letting them pick the contractors. And the mayor just keeps playing this race card. It's got to be black contractors. It's the black city. Got to be. No, it's got to be your black contractors. Because you have made promises, allegedly, of course, that your ass can't keep. Probably been paid. People probably know that, I'm just saying, anything's possible. And I think when and if these indictments come out and half the stuff that's out there that's floating around is true, y'all going to find out just how crooked this bastard in Jackson, Mississippi is. And if I'm wrong about all this, I will never admit it because I don't think I'm wrong. I know I'm not. I have it on from too many good sources of what exactly is going on around here. I have a set of eyes, too, for one thing, and I can see what's going on around Jackson, Mississippi. I don't need the feds to indict this guy for me to tell y'all he's up to no good. And that my theories about these contracts are true. It ain't a myth. I mean, I know for a fact that he's tried to get dope boys and convicted felons bailed out of jail in Rankin County. I know for a fact that he's allegedly, of course, that drug dealers have been pulled over in Jackson. They've texted him or called him, and commanders from JPD have showed up at the scene and forced the officer who pulled him over to let him go. Why is the mayor involved in stuff like that? I know for a fact that he screwed up the garbage contract, and y'all left y'all without garbage for a month. I know for a fact he screwed up the water and left y'all without water for a month. But y'all don't care. Y'all don't care. Some of y'all do. Not enough of you. We're coming back from break here in just a minute. Welcome back in to the Clay Edwards Show. We got a couple minutes here to land the plane for the day. Chip Matthews shows up next year on WYAB. Y'all stay tuned for that. Get out to Acme Pizza and Daiquiris tonight at Phantom Mart. Oh, no, actually, they're closed on Tuesdays. Wednesday through Monday, get out to Acme Pizza and Daiquiris, Phantom Mart on the Res. Get you one of their 12 different specialty pizzas. Best pizza in Rankin County. They got 9 different frozen daiquiris on tap and available to go. That's right. You can get the pizza and daiquiris delivered or carried out and enjoy it at home, or just sit there and enjoy it there in Acme Pizza and Daiquiris. You can't beat that. Located Phantom Mart on the Reservoir. All right. Let's see here, man. The comments are all cleared out. Let's see if we got a text or two we can read on the Guns and Gear text line before we bring it home for the day. I hear the vacuum cleaner out there. I thought it was a damn storm siren. What do I hear? Oh, let's see here. All right. Unknown texter says, serious question. With millions of state taxpayer money spent on the city of Jackson to keep it operating, at what point does the whole state get to vote on Jackson leadership? If that much of my tax money is spent on stuff the city should pay for, I should get a say in who the leaders are. You know, this has been brought up before, never on a serious level. This is from James, by the way. Sorry, I didn't see your name there. 100%, James. The whole state should get to vote on the mayor of the capital city. I think that's fair. 100% fair. I don't care how many black people live in Jackson. I don't care how black Jackson is. The whole state should get to vote on Jackson's mayor. I agree 100%. All right, we got about 20 seconds left. Rick says on the Guns and Gear text line, there are over 30 U.S. patents on weather modifications. Been going on since the 1960s. Very interesting stuff there. Been a fun show today. I'll be back here tomorrow with Sean Yerkron on a Wild Wednesday. Y'all stay blessed. Follow me on social media at SaveJXN. Peace out. All right, guys, fun show today, man. Thank you all so much for tuning in. I'll be back this afternoon and again tomorrow. We'll be doing live later today, I'm sure. I'll be making videos, content, chopping this up, putting it out there, creating reels. I'm all over the place. At SageJXN, Instagram, TikTok, all of them. I'm everywhere. All day, every day. Y'all stay blessed. Thank you so much for watching the show this morning.